Hello, everyone, and welcome to Innovate Your Ideas with Cutting Edge Payments. I am Mihai Draghici, and I am founder and CEO of PayByFace. Did you know that 1 million lines of code would be about 18,000 pages of paper? That's 14 times the length of the book War and Peace. The software in the car you drive, a modern car right now, runs on 100 million lines of code. Be it this is a bit old news, but that's a lot of lines of code. So what would it take to turn these that we all have in our wallets into this, just your face, where your face now becomes your card? And that's what we've done at PayByFace. It took 10 million lines of code and 7 years of software development with over 4,000 commits into our GitHub. So I'm going to be here with Luke Skywalker for a little while, talking about this innovation challenge that we faced about 7 years ago. And I want to share a story about myself, of course. I come from over 20 years of software engineering. I've been building startups since the dot-coms. At one point, I had over 200 domain names. I was doing domain name trading, and then the crash happened in the dot-com. But that's where I got started, and it's been one crazy journey ever since then. Um, I've uh, I've been building websites. I started off my career building websites and doing troubleshooting, technical support, fixing printers, and then had a really hard time keeping track of all the trouble tickets we had on paper. This was in the early days. There was no cloud computing. There was very little software out there for operational stuff. And so I had a challenge whenever we had a problem, technical problem in help desk. I had to go in this filing cabinet and go search through paper, and I found that very challenging. So I said, why can't I write a piece of software that can make my life easier? And so I did that. I basically built a trouble ticket. It was called Open Ticket, and it was built in ASP Classic on a Access database. And I built a little tool, a little software interface that I could quickly search for the problems and find the solutions that were done in the past. And it made my life easier. So that was the same challenge that I've faced throughout my life building startups. It's all about solving challenges. We all seek secure, safe, peaceful lives, and every day we're faced with different challenges and different struggles and a lot of pain. A lot of pain. It's painful to pay. It's painful to go to the hospital. It's painful. There's a lot of pain. And so, as an entrepreneur, one of the first questions you're asked is, what problem are you solving? Right? You're not really in business unless you're solving a problem. And I found it very challenging at one point, about 7 years ago, when I was traveling to Romania. I'm born. I'm Romania. I was born in Romania. I grew up in the United States, in Texas, and about 7 years ago, my mom told me, "Hey, go back to Romania. You haven't been in a very long time. Eat some good food, see family." And that's what I did. So I went to Bucharest about 7 years ago, and I sat down at a coffee shop, and I finished drinking my coffee, and the waitress came out to my table and asked me, "How would you like to pay?" Um, I was a little off struck by that question, because in the United States, nobody ever asks you how you want to pay. You just pay. So my software engineering mind was like, okay, why do you care how I pay? Why don't I just pay with my face? Almost as a joke. And then I thought about it a little bit and I was like, you know what, I could actually build something like that because I know how. And I've built software. I've worked for enterprise. I worked for senior vice president of Visa, former senior vice president of Visa, and former senior vice president of Federal Reserve. I've worked for large enterprises in the insurance business, and I've been building, startups for a very long time. And I was wondering, why can't I do this? I think I can, and that's exactly what I did. So. Um, I decided to build PayByFace, and I built the first prototype in 2017 and 2018. And just like Luke Skywalker here, I was wondering, can I use my face? Because we're all unique. Every single person on this planet is unique, and I think I thought, our face is always with us. You never leave home without your face. There's been lots of times that I've, walked out the door without my wallet, gone to the store, and I'm like halfway there in the car, and I'm like, oh shoot, I forgot my wallet. Like you're never gonna leave home without your face. So I figured, okay, that's easy. And there's been moments where I've been standing in line at a coffee shop, and in front behind somebody, and it's time for them to pay, and they're searching for their wallet, and they're like, oh my god, I left my wallet upstairs in the office. It's like, oh, I got to go all the way back up there. And I've run into certain situations where this is starting to make sense. um, so that it was obvious at that point. And I set out to do this. So be it. I was in Eastern Europe. I hadn't been back to Romania in over 25 years, so I didn't really know what was going on in Europe. I never done anything in finance, so I started learning. I spent almost 2 years in customer discovery and trying to analyze the real problem. Why do you care how I pay? That was the problem. That was the trigger. And then I tried to figure out, what is the problem in the financial industry? Why is this an issue? Why isn't it easier? Why isn't it more convenient? Why isn't it less pain-free to pay? And I discovered a lot of problems in 2 years, a lot of problems. And so we found it that, okay, there could be a problem solution fit here. So after 2 years of customer discovery, in 2020, we got accepted into the Amsterdam Startup Bootcamp program, which is very prestigious, one of the largest accelerator programs in the world for startup founders. And unfortunately, in the beginning of 2020 is when the pandemic really hit. We got stuck in Amsterdam. We were in lockdowns and trying to figure out in the accelerator program what PayByFace is, why PayByFace, and how are we going to build this into a successful company. So be it, you're already challenged with a very hard problem, and now you are locked in your apartment, and there is no other way but to find a solution. And so we set out that year in 2020 in Amsterdam to try to figure out, how are we going to present PayByFace in a real good problem solution fit, and there's a problem outside right now because I'm not going out that door unless I have gloves on, masks on, and I'm not touching anything. And if I come home, I'm going to shower 3 times. So it was quite challenging. And so we figured out a way, okay, PayByFace, let's build an app where when, the food delivery guy comes, or the package delivery guy comes to our apartment here, we don't have to open the door. We can just look through a window. He can have PayByFace on his phone, and he can scan my face through the window, right? I don't open the door. I don't get anywhere near this person. He'll scan my face through the door. He'll take the payment. I'll receive the notification on my phone, approve it, and transaction is done. It seemed perfect. Problem solution fit. Got it. So that was interesting. And then from there, we started figuring out, how do we innovate this so that, lo and behold, the pandemic goes away, we still are here and we're still a form of payment, not just in a critical situation of no contact. So then we started figuring out, okay, well, that's one good use case, right? How do we come up with another use case? So we studied a lot. We did a lot of business model canvas. We did a lot of experiments. We did a lot of internal soul searching. And by the end of 2020, we were fortunate enough to be accepted in the Visa Innovation Program in Bulgaria, in Sofia, Bulgaria. And we formed a partnership with Raiffeisen Bank Bulgaria to get more practical about PayByFace and actually try to figure out how are we going to get people to stop paying with, all the cards and start paying with just their face. And so that was a new challenge that presented itself. And we did figure it out. And with the help of the innovation team at Visa and the strategy and commercial teams at Raiffeisen Bank, we came up with the fact that 80% of people that try to pay by face once for the first time, 80% of people will come back and pay again, because it is a very interesting experience to be at the checkout counter, and all you have to do is just stand there, look at the payment device, your face gets scanned, you type in your PIN for security reasons, and then the payment is done. No phone, no cash, no wallet, no cards, just your face. And it was quite a compelling offer at that point. In 2021, after we became alumni of Startup Bootcamp and Visa Innovation Program, we believed we had enough data and enough experimentation of this innovative concept, innovation of an idea. How do we turn cards into a face? Very innovative. We've figured out that we had enough data at this point to actually go commercialize this, try to sell it, try to put it in shops. And so that's what we did. We actually installed the very first PayByFace in a coffee shop in Bucharest in 2019, before the pandemic. And it was interesting. We had the news come, and because it was the first of its kind in Bucharest, and it was quite a show. So at this point, with the data and a few real clients, we decided it's time to scale up. Let's go to 50. Let's see if we can get 50 locations using PayByFace in Bucharest. And that's exactly what we did. It took us about a year and a half. In 2021 and 2022, we were all over Bucharest. We had locations, pharmacies, grocery stores, coffee shops, salons, with our devices installed in their stores, and people were asking about it. And it was curiosity at that time. Obviously, it's not something that's going to happen overnight. No one's going to be going rushing to PayByFace, go PayByFace immediately. It takes a while to change a global payment system. And it was very eye-opening to see the reaction, first of all, be it, we just came out of a global pandemic. Given the scenarios globally, there was a lot of hesitation, dystopian ideas, conspiracy ideas, where's my data, where's my face, so we struggled a lot with security, safety, convenience factors that are required in payments to innovate payments. So, we come from a long history of payments, from the very first time we traded goods and services to the point of, cash and then checks in the US, we were writing checks. And, now we have tap to pay. Now, there's new mechanisms like PayByFace, Palms, and all kinds of ways to pay. Now it's all app and digital. So there's been a lot of innovation in the history of payments. And every time there's a really drastic change, it comes on three factors. One is speed, the other one is security, and the third one is convenience. So when you hit on all three, a paradigm shift happens. So, checks to chip is probably a lot more safe. You're going from paper to digital. There's a security factor that gets elevated there. So for us, we wanted to go on convenience, because security obviously is it makes you wonder, okay, where's my data? Where's my face? We're not sure, there's probably not quite enough on this whole data privacy thing. We're all very aware of our data privacy right now. It's very important. And so we wanted to make sure that, okay, data privacy is very important. We will architect on that. We have architected on that. That's been a key component to our success. But it also has to be usable. The people have to use it. It has to be convenient. There has to be a reason why, not just the security factor. So like I said, you need to elevate all three experiences in order to have a shift in innovation and payments specifically. So we tried to make it safe, secure, fast, and convenient, because only like that will it be a product that can be adopted at a mass market and actually influence the way we pay. And it takes a while. As you can see, it took us 10 million lines of code in 7 years. It's not an easy system. Just like a car, runs on 100 million lines of code. It's a process to go from riding a horse to sitting in a car, or flying in a Boeing 787 that, runs, I believe, like on, I don't know, 7 million or 8 million. Probably the newer versions of 787s run on a lot more lines, but, it's a mathematical problem. And so this is what I think innovation is all about, is changing the way you think. It's always been done like that. That's just the way it's been done. So yes, if it's not broken, don't fix it. It's not always true. Just because it's been done that way doesn't mean it's okay. And so it takes a lot of research, it takes a lot of experiments, it takes a lot of time, energy, effort, money. It takes a lot to provide innovation. Innovation is a challenging concept in itself. From innovating innovating healthcare, innovating financial systems, anything in innovation is a challenge because there must be a change. And change is hard. We all know that. So the objective that we've realized and that I've learned, after 20 years of trying to provide innovation all over, I was building dating apps. We built a taxi dispatching system before Uber. We did all kinds of very first experiments in the marketplace coming from tech, and always having been put on projects that nobody else has sort of succeeded or ever wanted to do it, because it's very challenging to change something permanently and sustainably, especially in engineering. And so that was the concept here. Let's make this future-proof also. And we realize nobody's going to start paying overnight with their face. It's going to take some time, but we need to stay wary of what the innovation will create, what it will impact, what will it, how will it grow and affect other systems, right? So with PayByFace and converting the card to a face, that's one component. But then how does the payment happen underneath? So, we did a lot of innovation in how we connected into payment gateways and tokenization, card tokenization, and multi-merchant tokenization, and multi-gateway integrations with different currencies. So we could have PayByFace, in Dubai, and PayByFace in Pakistan, and PayByFace in Paris, and PayByFace in California. And just like the Uber app, you sign up on Uber and you can get in any Uber taxi worldwide without having to take out a card anymore. It's just universal. So how do we, build a system at PayByFace where you just sign up once, at the corner store, you went and got milk and you saw PayByFace in Mumbai, India, and you signed up at that convenience store. And then you can use the same account, same card when you get on a plane and fly to Los Angeles, California, just like Uber app. So from an infrastructure perspective to innovate, there's innovation in the initial idea that changes the mechanism. There's innovation that has to happen all the way down the entire life cycle of the the platform and the systems. All the systems that integrate have to have some sort of innovation, because there's not, you can't bring a component from the future and connect it into a component from the past. Sometimes that doesn't work. You could put all kinds of adapters and obfuscation and all kinds of stuff. This is just system design. So from a system design, a global payment system design, there must be innovation throughout the entire system. So that's also under the innovation to work with people is also just as important as the innovation in technology. We have to innovate how we communicate with one another, how we transact with one another on a human level. And that requires leadership. It requires, open-mindedness and a certain mindset that in business, it comes down to just one question. Are you here to help me, or are you here to hurt me? That's the only question in business that we need to ask ourselves. And so when we interact as humans to try to innovate something together, we also have to innovate the way we approach each other, the way we work with each other, the way we think together, and the way we execute together. And sometimes it's out of the box, and sometimes there's challenges in that itself. So innovation as a whole, when you have an idea and you want to innovate something, you have to be open-minded about that innovation in everything that touches it. And so just like me and Luke Skywalker here, I just want to express that, first of all, I have extreme respect, honor, and admiration for entrepreneurs and founders and business owners, because it's very challenging to live out your dreams. You're always going to be faced with reasons not to innovate, and reasons to just keep doing it the way it's done. And so I urge all of you to think how we can work together to innovate the way we work together. And this is a perfect stage here at FutureFest in Pakistan. Like I said, I'm absolutely grateful to be on stage today and speaking to all of you. I think we have a great year ahead. There's a lot of exciting innovation happening, obviously in AI, in all across industries, with all the technology at our fingertips right now. So it's even more important that we all work together and communicate together for the greater good of this planet, because our children depend on it. So I urge all of y'all to go try it out. Try PayByFace. It's available on the app stores and on Google Play. You can search for PayByFace and download the wallet app. Create yourself an account. I think we should have the servers. I turned on the servers just a couple days ago worldwide. So we'd love to let you try the app and see what you think signing up. And we're happy to reach out to merchants to provide this innovation to you as well. We're looking forward to hopefully coming to Pakistan one day. I've never been. I've been to India 9 times. I've been to the Middle East. I've traveled all over Europe and Americas, of course. And I haven't been all to Pakistan yet, but I'm very excited to hopefully arrive there one day. So thank you so much, everyone, for your time. I absolutely think this is a great opportunity and a great event So Godspeed. Let's all innovate.